Got it. Here is the text exactly as you provided it. Haunted Echoes, Chapter 1, The Invitation. The letter arrived in a thick, aged envelope sealed with an unfamiliar wax insignia. Come home, it read, signed by someone named Eleanor Graves. James had never heard of her. Yet, beneath the hastily scribbled signature, there was an address, Blackwood Manor, his childhood home, abandoned for decades. Memories surfaced like ghosts. The manor, a looming Gothic structure at the edge of Raven's Hollow, had been empty since his family had vanished without a trace when he was 10. The townspeople whispered of curses, hauntings, and things that should not be spoken of aloud. Now, 20 years later, James found himself gripping the letter with a trembling hand. The urge to ignore it battled with a dark curiosity. And curiosity won. Returning to Blackwood Manor, the house stood as he remembered, tall, brooding, alive. The iron gate shrieked as he pushed it open, and the gravel crunched beneath his feet. Shadows clung to the manor's turrets, stretching unnaturally in the dim evening light. The air grew heavy when he stepped inside. Dust clung to the antique furniture, and a faint scent of damp wood and decay filled his nostrils. The silence pressed against his ears, thick and suffocating. Then, the whisper came. James. It wasn't a breath. It wasn't the wind. It was a voice. He spun around. The hall stood empty, but the chandelier above flickered, casting distorted shadows against the walls. A chill crawled down his spine. Then he saw it, a handprint smeared in dark crimson on the wall. The stain looked fresh, its edges still glistening under the flickering light. A pungent, metallic scent filled his nostrils, thick and suffocating, as if the walls themselves had begun to bleed. He took another step forward, and the door slammed shut behind him. Got it. Here's the text exactly as you provided it. Chapter 3, The Echoes Begin. That night, James lay awake in his old bedroom, his childhood toys coated in grime. As he drifted into a restless sleep, something scraped against the walls. A whisper. Come find me. He bolted upright. The room was empty, but the air crackled with something unseen. Then, a knock. 3 slow, deliberate raps against the closet door. Heart pounding, he reached for the knob, hesitating before pulling it open. Nothing, and yet the dust on the floor had been disturbed. Then, as he turned away, the closet door creaked back open, on its own. A guttural chuckle echoed from within the darkness. A shadow shifted near the foot of his bed, and for a split second, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at him. The air thickened, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and something rotten. Then a slow, deliberate scraping sound, like nails dragging against wood, came from beneath the bed. Chapter 4, Eleanor's Secret. The next morning, James explored the library, its towering bookshelves untouched for years. A family portrait hung above the fireplace. His father, mother, himself as a boy, and a girl. A girl he didn't remember. His fingers traced her faded outline. Beneath the portrait, a book jutted out unnaturally from the shelf. When he pulled it, something clicked. A section of the bookshelf swung open. Behind it, a hidden staircase leading into the dark. The walls whispered as he descended, soft, beckoning, distorted, as if a chorus of voices spoke at once but not in unison. Some murmured pleas, others giggled with glee, and a few wept in agony, their cries blending into a sickening, incomprehensible lullaby. The sound slithered into his ears, crawling under his skin, filling his mind with words he didn't understand, yet somehow they knew his name. A shadow moved at the bottom. Not human, not alive, waiting. Got it. Here is the text exactly as you provided it. Chapter 5, The Forgotten Room. James descended, his breath shallow. At the bottom lay a small room, lit only by the soft glow of candles that should not have been burning. The walls were covered in scratches, desperate marks as if someone had tried to claw their way out. And in the center, a child's bed. Rotted, stained, shackles bolted into the headboard. A journal lay atop the sheets. He picked it up and read the name inscribed on the first page, Eleanor Graves. The words within told a horrifying tale, a forgotten sister. A girl who had been locked away, hidden from the world. A girl who had been left to die alone. James staggered back, heart hammering, and then the whisper again. You remember now. A shadow moved in the corner. Something inhuman stretched toward him. A single, elongated finger dragged along his cheek. The floor beneath him shuddered, as if something beneath the boards was breathing. A faint vibration pulsed beneath his feet, rhythmic, like a heartbeat. The wood felt strangely warm, as if something slumbered just beneath the surface, exhaling in slow, measured breaths. Chapter 6. The Ghost Awakens. The room shuddered, candles snuffed out. The darkness grew thick, alive. Then, a breath against his ear. A skeletal hand clawed out from beneath the bed. James ran, heart slamming against his ribs, up the stairs, through the hall. But the house had changed. Corridors twisted, stretched, doors led to the wrong rooms, and the whispers turned into laughter, high, hollow, mocking. Then, the portrait in the hallway changed. His reflection wasn't alone. A dark figure stood behind him, grinning. The house itself groaned as if awakening. Got it. Here's the text exactly as you provided it. Chapter 7. The Final Choice. James reached the front door, yanking at the handle. Locked. A voice filled the room. Her voice. You left me once? Will you leave me again? A mirror beside the door rippled like water. Within it, James saw himself as a child, holding Eleanor's hand. Memories crashed down, his parents terrified, dragging him away, abandoning the girl they had tried to erase from history. Eleanor was real, and she was shadows wrapped around him. Cold fingers traced his skin. The house shuddered with laughter. James could see the door cracking, but something held him back. Chapter 8. The Echo Never Ends. James whispered, I'm sorry. The house groaned. The air shifted. The door unlocked. He stepped outside. The whispers followed. And in the town below, in the reflection of a store window, Eleanor stood behind him, smiling. Then she blinked. And in that instant, James's reflection was gone. Somewhere, deep in Blackwood Manor, a door creaked open. The laughter began again. And in the silence that followed, the house took a breath. The walls trembled. The floor let out a faint creak, as if something within had shifted. Then from deep inside the manor came a slow dragging sound, something moving, something waking.